Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Fiesta. Oh, wait a second. I think we are doing. I think we are doing AC first. So, all right. Welcome to the Weeklies, the 7th week of the 2014 Opus Magnum Weeklies. The week 7 puzzle was Breathable Fluid. It was my puzzle, and it gave you these three inputs, and you were tasked to making this output. And note that there's no duplicator in the glyph section. And the metrics were area with cycles tiebreaker and rate with area tiebreaker. All right. Is it now okay? Welcome.
Howdy, people. Am I coming through?
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome.
So yeah, the week 7 puzzle was my puzzle, Breathable Fluid.
Where did this puzzle come from, Haxton? Because I never saw this one.
Yep. So the real life lore for this puzzle, it is the crown ether and liquid breathing. That's a thing that some sort of fluid can dissolve so much oxygen that you can actually make organism breathe inside it, but it it has never, you know, been a thing because for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
And
apparently when they tested it, it was disgustingly unpleasant, and people,
mhm.
yeah, said it was completely, it felt unnatural, like they were drowning but not drowning. So, yeah, it's a real thing you can actually do.
Yep.
Isn't chemistry weird?
And obviously the Opus Magnum inspiration, that's the elemental jewel setting rookies puzzle. Metric, one of the metrics is area, and the other metric has area as tiebreaker.
I have no idea what the results are going to look like at all, so I'm keen to see what the hell people even thought to attempt for area.
All right, we are doing area first. So at 20th place, 70 store. Is that a JoJo reference? No. She simply writes one word as a note, spin. Area with a side order of area. That's a spin, alright. 119 area.
Actually, this approach has a good aesthetic to it. I keep getting JoJo's recommended to me, but I've never followed through on watching it.
Same. Ah yes, Fiesta raises a good point on the Twitch chat. This is a C monomer, but there are also there are only two ways to divide this ring in sixth. One is the C, the other is this
Okay.
quote-unquote horsey shape, or the health tonic shape. So yeah, which assembly method will make appearance on the top end of the solves, that will be interesting. All right. Now we shall move on to the 19th place. Nightshine. Would you like to build a snowflake? They write, my second soul Paritos might vest in the two metrics tracked for competition. Probably the easiest way to visualize this construction, but there is one other way to create a 5-atom sixth of the final molecule. Now if only I didn't have to make arm one Dutch. This Dutch, they are, I'm assuming.
So this one only spinning the entire molecule in place in one spot instead of two different spots. The obvious area improvement here.
There's one save it hex inside the ring. So this was also a theme in the elemental jewel setting, where you have to save as much area as possible inside the large ring. But this one, the area inside is significantly smaller, and the shape itself is not
Spikier?
spikier. So yeah, 91 area. 337 cycles.
Those Link 3 swings are pretty slick too, not gonna lie.
Yep. It touches, the air molecule would have collided, but it touches by arm 1. Alright, though, shall we move on?
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, arm 4 could have been a normal arm instead of a piston. Anyway,
Arm
I'm
4?
nitpicking. Yeah, let's move on.
It could have been, yeah, actually. At here, it would have saved one area.
Would it have mattered though?
At 18th place, JPIV. Area, question mark. At 86 area.
Alright, not even close to mattering.
Didn't try too hard here. More of a casual soul. Still fun though. This one takes 1135 cycles, so I'm gonna speed up this a little bit.
Now this looks a lot more area brained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how the assembly, most of the assembly happens in the inside of the footprint. Though this hex is used. Because the arm one swings. Yeah.
I guess the main thing to note is that the vast majority of the area currently being used up is the swing space because it's a big chunky ass molecule. So that is the thing you have to look at when trying to area optimize this, like that swing space, because those are going to be the hexes. If you can get rid of as much of that as possible, you can be saving a lot of hexes. Quick question: did you get a post?
Yeah.
Deflations?
Your voice just glitched out, so please can you repeat that?
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Did you get a post deadline submission from Rebix by any chance?
Post deadline submission.
It seems Rebix forgot to submit.
Let's see. I don't think so.
Could be worth keeping an eye out.
Alright, we are going to move on to my playtest solve. Yep, this is Sunford. At least nothing beat this in the among all the solves I received. I'm sure.
Horsey molecule spotted.
Yup. Monomer is the horsey.
Very clean. That looked like it did not take very long to make at all. That's really clean.
So the initial solve was much slower than this, but adding more arms makes it go fast. And yeah, first horsey molecule. Ah, yeah, I have just received something from Revix, so we are gonna.
Yeah, this does have some vibes. I think that's why it tickled my brain so nicely when I looked at it.
So we are going to move on to the next soap though. At 17th place, Team Jamius 42. One-armed wonder why it took so long to find. As is often the case, I see the puzzle, say to myself, nah, I'm not doing that, and then end up making a solution in my head anyway. Usually a simple solution, not a 50-arm raid monster thing. But yeah, here is a one-arm wonder based loosely on what I imagined and probably not too bad for area after all. However, not as pretty as the showcase, says 42 Genius 42. This week for Team Genius 42, area is almost totally 42 Genius 42, raid is Gemu. This still uses the U molecule or C molecule. No spot saved inside the ring. 2 slides, then out.
A long-awaited pairing. I feel like we've been teased with the Jamu and Genius 42 pairing for many weeks now.
Ah.
Finally get to start seeing. So no hexes on the inside saved, mainly because that's where all the action happens, because not only is the arm and both inputs and both bonders are out there, inside there, so that is space you actually want to use, but it means you have to contend with the swing space anyway, no matter what, because that's the only thing you get in that thing around that arm and those inputs.
Mm-hmm. Also, one thing I'm noting, the bond. So the last bond happens 2 slides away from the output. This will matter later. Alright. At 16th place, Avenged Ruler plus Skyhawk. Avenged Ruler writes, while I suspect that this will probably be beaten with more motivated alchemist, I believe this should be close to a local min for a double translate solution. My mindset going into this was the middle seems like a given, the non-salted empty spaces seem like a given, and try to save everything else. In this solution, we did this by using a center swing on a 1 offset before doing our second translate, which allowed the saving of a bit of area. That, along with having no wasted area on the inputs and calcify, leads me to believe this should be close to local min for this construction. In theory, one could build it in 2 halves, close one side with 1 translate and rotate the molecule 180 degrees to make the other closing bond, with a translate in the same direction, significantly reducing area. I think with this you could get a low to mid 60, but it seems too cursed for 7:30 PM on a Friday, and I'm quite happy with this solution.
Chat are probably correct in their assertion that we are approaching what might be the limit of the C monomer. We may not be seeing the C monomer for too much longer. Because there is a sort of harsh reality when it comes to bonding the C monomer in just how much swing space you need to get the last bonds in.
True.
And also, you need to translate it twice in the same direction to get that final bond in, which is not
very.
The sheer size of the molecule means that the less you have to translate it, the better.
All right, I'm going to run this to completion and then move on to the next solve. At 15th place, Evernote, Breathing Tonic. Last minute, parentheses, hour, quick solve. Started thinking I need calcification inside, then realized it there's not enough space inside, and found calcification spots outside, and assumed I needed two, and then the one at Critelli blocked air and turned out to be unnecessary at all. So yeah, the horsey molecule. This is a triangle layout by Shadow Cluster's terminology.
Wait, what's the triangle layout?
So the footprint it takes is equivalent to what when you move the completed output in the triangle.
It refers to the movement that the whole molecule does at the end. That's what okay. I don't know what time it is for you people over in chat as to how it affects how awake or not you are. For me, it's like 12:30, but for some reason I'm very awake at the moment, so here I am.
Great to have you. So yeah, it moves in this direction first, then this direction, then output. (7:20 a.m.) 7 a.m. PDT. Alright, so one arm, so it takes not one arm, and the output has like 30 atoms, so it isn't very fast, but it's 70 area.
And 20 p.m. That sounds close to Haxton's time.
It's 11:24 p.m. here. All right. At 14th place, Mr. Piozo, 69 area.
Nice.
Titled Nice.
I woke up at 7:05 thanks to a dog. What a good dog. Okay, so we actually went back to the sea monomer here.
Yeah. So Mr. Puzzle writes, RPO had a 72, but was pretty sure that 70 was possible. I found a 70 independently, then trimmed it down to this. Decent for the 2 hours I put into it right before the deadline. I wonder how far away Min is. Insanely clean for the sea mono.
Have to work around that that air input. Pretty scary proposition. You could in theory suppress it if need be, but that would not be easy.
Water is already constantly suppressed, so for the last few outputs. Because this bonder, it is only accessible when the water is suppressed. Air doesn't need to be suppressed, but
I'm quite impressed we're gonna see monomer solve below 70 area, though. Very economical swings. I'm excited to see where the horsey will take us for area past this point, because I'm not sure how many hexes you would be able to cut from this with this sea monomer. Big rotation around the center hex might cut primary. Okay.
Alright, at 13th place we have a new submitter. Gaijin Caster. New solution 1, copy. He did not left any notes. This is a horsey monomer.
Welcome to the Weeklies.
Welcome to the Weeklies. Yeah, 66 area. And pretty fast too.
There is not a single hex to be spared inside the molecule. It is all being used up. It's not slow either. Jeez.
So yeah, this solution has the thing. Which is that you can actually rotate it at the center, and that's when you rotate it at the center, that's optimal. So most large crystals, it is. So for most large crystals, when you rotate it from the center, it is very bad for area, but not for this.
It's something to do about the orientation of molecules, because most molecules, when you're rotating about the center, it's about like how swing spaces work. You have to go into the whole like 1-1-1-0 swings kind of thing. Like if you think about it, like a length 2 arm will like clip extra areas when swinging, but like a theoretical knight's arm
Mm-hmm.
doesn't clip extra areas when swinging, because that's the more economical swing. So
Indeed.
that that idea is still applied, but it's just kind of done in reverse here, where you are actually swinging about the center, because the prongs are all knights orientations away from the center, which you don't
Mm-hmm.
normally get from molecules.
At 12th place, 65 area, Sockboy. He did not left any notes
Dear,
either. Teardrop.
dearest soft boy.
Oh yeah, this one uses a different build order. Build the core first, then attach the swords later.
Knight Adam, Horsey Monomer. Yeah, this is why we call it the cavalry strat, Mr. Puzzle. Which is a name I did not come up with just then. Nope, definitely not me. Oh. Here we go, adding the prong later on.
Mm-hmm.
Saving a bit of extra swing space, and also we're getting 2 hexes saved in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe we're still outside the top 10. This is a good ass solve.
Yeah, apparently competition is fierce.
Like, people are talking about the numbers, the submission numbers not being quite as high as when we started, and people are like, oh man, it's like, it's dropped a bit. No, this is still considered a high submission count for a weeklies. This is like normal high, not like stratospheric high, which was the first month. We're getting fucking tournament numbers in the first month.
True.
You got a bot.
Wait a sec. How do I?
I think you like right click the username or something. There you go.
All right. Okay, bot kicked, and before we move on to 11th place, we are going to see a showcase soul first.
We're doing a showcase solve.
Yep. By Mr. Royal Spade, the 3-armed demon.
Oh wow. It's still all just have we had a one bonder solve before? This is only using one bonder.
I don't think so. This is, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, notes contain some spoilers about the area metrics, so I will not going to read the notes.
Makes me wonder what Mr. Royal Spade actually has cooked up.
Mm-hmm.
A A showcase solve in this part of the stream, in this time of the metric, localized entirely within Haxton's stream.
So yeah, obviously Mr. Royal Spade have something better than this. How better is will be revealed later.
We also might have to come back to the notes for this solve to explain a bit why this was submitted the way it was. I'm guessing.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. So at 11th place, X Soccer 888, Great Ball of Water. Also three arm soul. Well, I thought it would be better to show the soap now, but anyway.
It was a neat idea. It works alongside the progression. It was a cool solve too.
So X Soccer triple eight writes, my prediction for minimum area is 62, saving 2 of the interior hexes and 1 corner from my solution. This, by corner, he means one of these 3 hexes, I assume.
"52 area confirmed." So not a 1 bond to solve, but still very economical use of bonders to get the horsey. Starting with the cal drops, just a bunch of pivoting. Very simple with the construction of the monomer itself. And it naturally clips the calcifier really well. Balatro deck area. This isn't Critelium.
Alright. At 10th place, welcome to the top 10. Billbock, area V4. 64 area. Min area question mark? I'm sure this uses the minimum number of hexes outside the output glyph, and I don't see how to save more hexes inside. Maybe I should have optimized cycles more. I guess it isn't too late to count it right now.
It is top 10.
So it clips through 1, 2,
yeah, no calcifier on the outside at all. It is a 1 calcifier solve.
some fancy suppression, input suppression to get everything where it's needed.
The horsey is put together a lot more carefully on this solve. It's also done in a couple of different ways entirely. Yeah, there are two different. I believe there. I think there was. Yeah, yeah.
I think so
Builds
too.
it in
Yeah.
2 pairs, and then clips the fifth one on at the end after the rotation.
Oh, hey, first top 10. Congratulations.
Oh, that's right. We'll know what min is because it'll be whatever shampoo gets -1.
Alright, I'm going to speed this up a little bit.
Oh, you didn't read the notes, apparently.
I have read the notes at the beginning.
Oh yeah, you did. That's right. Yeah, no, yeah.
But
We'll
yeah,
move
Bilbo
on.
claims that this is the minimum number of hexes outside the Alpo glyph. So
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then the 9 hexes here. Yup, center rotation doesn't Costeria on this puzzle. Because of how the prongs are all knight moves away from the center. At 9th place, Spiritual Shampoo. 64 area.
Okay, so min is 63. Got it. Why does that actually sound like a reasonable guess for min area?
Wait a sec, I just got disconnected.
Oh wait, that was a short disconnect.
So 13 hexes inside the hex, and further 9 hexes use it outside for translation. This has AG pipes instead of AC pipes. I mean, this is the slowest 64, so...
Yeah, I do not imagine much attention was paid to the cycle secondary at all for this solve.
There's no note, so I'm going to just speed this up.
From what I've told, Spiritual Shampoo solves speak for themselves, so...
Imagine optimizing second.
True. Imagine optimizing secondary, not at mid primary. True.
All right. At 8th place, Slap Drill. Save the hex by not placing the third input. Further savings could probably be done with input suppression, but I don't want to map that out. I couldn't find anything small that doesn't involve doing a rotation of the entire molecule. Oh yeah, this one also builds attaches the prongs at the last. Yeah, three hexes saved it inside. But there's an extra hex. Extra 2 hexes use it in the outside.
So we did see this tech appear briefly.
Mm.
Oh, who did it? Was it Sock Boy? Who did
I
this?
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
The solution space. The solution space. It almost always is a little bigger than what you expect as a puzzle designer.
Even what puzzle designer expects, yeah.
I remember I deliberately made a production puzzle once, and I thought there was only like 1 or 2 layouts that solved the puzzle, and there ended up being like 9 or 10, because it's like a really, really hard, restrictive production puzzle, but there was still like 9 or 10 different ways to do it, and I was expecting like 1 or 2.
What is that chapter 1 puzzle with airs and water in the output now again? That's the airtight sealant, something, watertight sealant, something like that.
Yeah, toxic metallurgy, correct. Yeah, it wasn't what? Yeah, it's some sealant. Yeah, waterproof sealant.
Yeah. At 7th place, Fiesta Land. And we finally see the 63. Potent Jewel Enlargement. As the subtitle suggests, we saw 3 inspirations for this puzzle: Potent Painkillers, Elemental Jewel Setting, and Ring Enlargement. All 3 of these feature the now well-known motif of constructing a large ring from the inside. But we were daunted for a while, because we thought that this might be the most similar to EJS, given the extreme size. EJS area manages to be incredibly parsimonious by transporting atoms in small sticks and bonding everything at the end, with no big rotations needed. The spikiness of this output made it hard to find convenient bonder positions for that. We unblocked ourselves when we started thinking in terms of Potent Painkillers AG, fully used internal space and big rotations necessary. Happily, the placement of the salt spikes aren't too bad, with respect to the hexes they clip in a center rotation. These ideas helped us put a stake in the ground at 65. We suspected from the beginning that, as in ring enlargement, we could leave some hexes unused in the middle of the output. But disentangling the last monomer from the ring turned out to be a nasty problem, and the donut hexes ideal for resolving. Our breakthrough idea was adding the second bonder on the outside, which gave us room to finish the final monomer assembly with the ring already in place. 2 hexes saved it, and here we are at 63. Time was short this week, so our analysis and understanding are thinner than usual. There could be lots of stuff we miss it, especially here in area, but we still feel good about applying past lessons to good effect, even if they aren't necessarily the best ones for the puzzle.
That is a very cheeky bonder at the top corner there. That is very cheeky, purely to get the last horsey belt, so that you don't have to swing the whole damn molecule like back and forth just to get the horsey belt, which I believe would clip an extra hex or two. No need for that though. Yeah, very nice.
So this takes about, what is it, 2000 cycles? The next soul.
This one feels like, this one feels like it's by necessity because of those two unused hexes in the middle. There's really not really any room that I can see for a second piston, so yeah.
So at 6th place, we drop down about 700 cycles by you, who confusingly wrote down second person pronouns as preferred pronoun. So you writes can probably save about 100 cycles with this layout. Observe the leftover air atom at the end of each tape loop is used for input suppression so that I can 1p this. There are quite a lot of layouts that work for 63A, so I would be surprised if this one is the fastest of them. I can't see any plausible path to 62A.
Wow, the cycle count really just dropped by 700, huh? Wow, those are some super clean monomer swings.
So the donut ends up to be plenty of space. So there's enough space to do some fancy things.
Jeez.
Apparently.
The thing about an area puzzle that forces you to use a shitload of area is that that's a lot of area within which you can find tricks to do in. So it is funny how like giant monomer kind of almost naturally increases the solution space by virtue of being big.
True.
A lot of different approaches, actually.
Yeah.
This is very cool to see.
Yeah.
I do really like this puzzle, by the way, Haxton. I think you did quite a good job with it.
Thank you. All right.
And thank you for submitting in 6th place.
All right. At 5th place, Sai looks away. still 63 area. 1195 cycles. Calirisis asks, could arm 3 be a normal arm with an extra track? Let's see.
Oh, on that previous solve.
Does arm 3 ever pistons?
Oh, with an extra track inside one of the equilibrium hexes.
Ah,
Oh, maybe it could.
maybe. No. The rotation sweeps these two hexes, so not that easily. I don't think so.
Oh, you could just move it. I think it might still work because you could just like move the arm all the way back down after it does its arm thing. So you save. I think you can save 15G.
I guess so. Yeah. Rubik's the breathable fluid. We are currently looking at area solves.
We are breathing fluid in this in this stream. No, it's going really well. The area solves are super wicked.
So, warning may contain traces of arm. There's no notes on this one.
I like the idea that breathing fluid, it's technically possible, but because it goes against millions of years of evolution screaming out that breathing water is not what you want to do, it just can't happen because the body rebels against it. It's almost literally eldritch. Anyway, back to this solve, which has an admirable amount of attention paid to the cycle count, despite being in a very tight, very cramped space.
And with a linear 4-track, not even a loop. Because ARM 2 can only access these three, ARM 1 can only access these three. Yosh just dropped the
actual.
yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, Yoshi's right to point out the actual problem of breathing fluid is once you leave the water, how do you get all the fluid out of your lungs? Is the actual big
That's the
problem,
drowning in rivers bit.
Yeah. Yosh learning torture methods to validate Banjo Tooie lore.
Alright. At 4th place, Mr. Royal Spade. 111.
Oh, just missed the podium.
Just missed the podium.
Rip.
The Interloper. This is one of the most miraculous puzzles I've ever played. Early in the week, I've got my 65 area soul. I spent a few days getting it to 800 cycles before noticing I didn't need all the center hexes. What followed was 4 days of frantically looking for any way to make 63 area. 64 was easy, but I really wanted 2 center blocks gone if possible. Every time I had a new idea, it just barely didn't work, and I was growing more and more worried it wouldn't happen. Then, with only 1 day left, I found this layout. Because I only had 1 day to cut the cycles, I didn't look too heavily into alternate layouts. I likely overlooked an easier way to get 63, but I still feel this solution is extremely fast. If sub 63 is possible, cheers to whoever finds it. If 63 area was intended when you designed this puzzle, you're a madman. This is excellent puzzle design. So I have to come clean that would you believe that this wasn't tested on area?
Wait, did your playtest solve, was that like not for area? Was it like a sums fucking solve? And you went, actually, let's just go area.
I mean, there's no way this could go wrong on area, right?
I mean, I'm just about the last person to judge for pulling shit like that. That's the exact kind of thing I would have done, and probably somehow managed to get away with as well. So, I respect it, Haxton. I respect it.
A Weeklies puzzle would never be tested for its metrics.
Imagine testing a weekly puzzle. Couldn't be me. You say goofy, but making that last monomer actually looks like it was very cleverly figured out. Like, that's barely even possible that you got that final monomer out there, and it's all only possible
because of
thanks
only
to that
possible because of this bonder, yeah, and some fancy suppression thing going on.
Yeah, because you only ever have to swing the final monomer once, and that final swing looks like it was pretty calculated on Mr. Royal Spade's part.
At that place, Team Hello Jazian. Spin, spin, spin the wheel of fortune. Miniaturized machines typically avoid rotating large molecules, since translations use fewer tiles. With this molecules bond network, a double translation seems required to stitch two halves together. Interestingly, because the molecule is a circle, this is a rare case where a rotation uses fewer hexes than a second translation would. I believe this has to do with why the fluid is breathable. It does not even attempt to take up extra space when spun in the turbulence of the lungs, and so does not add sudden pressures that will pop the minuscule air sacs. In the transmutation, spinning the molecule is only possible if all obstacles are directly adjacent to the central piston. So this is where the water and air inputs emerge. However, due to the glyph of multi-bonding, we need never spin the complete molecule. We can attach the final air atom and directly output. For subtle reasons, this allows one more tile of safe zone in which we tuck the second piston necessary to complete the assembly. The build order for the final sixth of the molecule is not straightforward. We were unable to find alternatives to this geometry for slipping the small water molecule out of the gap in the mostly complete ring. Additionally, air must travel over the water reagent input every time we need an air atom. This slows us down, but not by terribly much.
So how many cycles did this beat Mr. Royal Spade by?
21 cycles.
Ooh, not many cycles in it at the moment. Gee.
Alright, at second place, John at 1095 cycles. There's no notes, But I have to note that John John's soul started at 1155 cycles. So it started by
Yep.
beating the Team Hello Jazian by 2 cycles.
Oh, damn. Alright, so this looks. Wow, that was pretty slick.
Wait a second. This one, we have seen this layout before, right?
Yeah, isn't this Mr. Royal Spades layout?
Yeah.
Shit, what was that final monomer though? That was a completely different method to what Mr. Royal Spade did.
Oh.
Okay, let's have a look. Oh yeah, oh jeez. Very sneaky rotations there. Some incredibly minor execution details. Pretty much deciding our podium here at the moment. Do we have a pivot of the week on this final monomer? That's probably pivot of the week.
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna have to be bedazzled by first place to dethrone pivot of the week. Great Area might have a good few pivots though. No, those are sick. No, those are genuinely sick pivots.
Yeah. All right. At the first place, beating this soul by more than 200 cycles. Coco 52.
Cuckoo 52. Nice. Not a name I associate with area. Until now, apparently.
I think we also have seen this. No, I thought we have seen this layout, but
not quite similar layout.
If this air was here, yeah.
Yeah. Oh shit, this beat what it would have been the Cycle Mains submission. Team Cycle Mains submission would have been beaten by this anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they literally just forgot to submit. Cuckoo had the win anyway, regardless.
Yeah. And the last movement that rotate at the same time as Arm Duchess. That's pretty slick.
Nice. Could even try and get that in slow motion if you feel like it. That was like a Matrix dodge. I must say, this solve makes 63 look outright easy.
like all top.
It is very.
Yeah.
It's very ho hum about putting this whole thing together in just 63 hexes.
Yeah.
New solution 49 though.
I believe the
That
Coco
probably.
52 submission last week was new solution 47.
Multi-bonder wins again. The second area puzzle in a row where the multi-bonder wins.
All right, before we move on to the rate metric, I'm going to show the Team Psycho mains solve. So yeah, this is Team Psycho mains Rebix plus Shadow Cluster, though this Shadow Cluster reports that this is almost all Rebix effort. Milked this layout as much as Rebix could, but didn't thought about multi-bonder.
Submitted by Team Forgore. Were there any notes or?
I don't think there was any notes provided, so no.
Damn, I've been a big fan of Shadow Cluster's solution notes lately.
Shadow Cluster was extremely. My impression was that Shadow Cluster was extremely busy during this week. So
yeah, actually, it sounded like the area puzzle just happened to come up on a bad week for him.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Oh yeah, before you move on to rate, apparently in the Discord, Nightshine claims that the piston could not have been a normal arm where we suggested it. If you can show me a screenshot of it colliding, I will down a spoonful of hot sauce right here on stream. So I'm very confident that it could be placed there. If you are watching Nightshine, if not, no sweat. But yeah, Shadow Cluster is a very busy boy.
So, all right, now let's. So that's the area solves all shown on the stream, and we are going to move on to the rate solves. At 20th place, we also start with 70 Storm. Need to calculate rate min. This definitely isn't rate min.
Zorflax, are you into gulping spoonfuls of hot sauce? I've had this shit sitting on my bench for months, and I've been keen to try it out, but I need to lose a bet first, and I keep winning all my bets lately. I agree with Yosh. I think 7 T-Storm really missed a trick by using the plus instruction. Because we all know it's a suboptimal instruction and should be avoided wherever possible. This looks like 7 T-Storm's other submission, just built slightly faster.
Slightly faster, yeah.
It's the same, yeah, it's the same like C spinny thing.
Hexarm grabs everything and spins to bond everything. Motif. Alright. 19th place. Night Shine. Wait, we have shown this in the area solve.
Oh, is it the same solve?
Yeah. So at 18th place, JPIV. Win rate exclamation points. Who cares about area, am I right? Not sure if there's a good way to do this without multiple pipelines. I'm just happy I got min rate, haven't bothered to minimize cost or area either yet.
I'm waiting to see what the plus minus instruction does. The fucking what? Well,
but yeah, 18th place, win rate.
That didn't take very long to get to min rate.
So yeah, extrude giant bricks of made of water and air, calcifies things as needed, then assembles on 2 separate pipelines. Not very area efficient, but got min. Alright. At 17th place, Mr. Royal Spade. We drop down to 325 area. Okay, so the 2 cores has to be stashed there as a waste because the salt takes too long to arrive here. So Mr. Royal Spade writes, I've always had a weird relationship with rate puzzles. I really enjoy solving to get min rate, but I've never been that into secondary optimization. I gave the area a bit of focus in this puzzle as the symmetry cut down on arms, but this is still extremely unoptimized. The sticks at the top are from advice Bist gave me on my last raid solve, palatable tissue. Once I had those in place, getting a working solution was easy. If I wanted to actually lower my footprint, I'd need to rework most of this solve, but given how hard I focused on area cycles, min rate is good enough for me.
Doesn't matter, got min.
Alright, at 16th place, Team Avenged Ruler plus Skyhook.
If it's not a rate, if you a shampoo, if your solve doesn't have a rate, then it just wouldn't have turned up at all. on the AHK. It's literally not valid for raid if it doesn't have a raid.
So Skyhawk writes, glad it is at least min rate. Looking forward to seeing the cleaner construction methods. We are dropping the area very fast from 916 to 325 to 242. So this one, bricks two halves together. So they are all components of a one half, but in a mostly correct shape. I see.
Alright, so I know there wasn't like heaps of playtesting or whatever, but what was the thought process behind rate area?
Rate area. I think I can explain it better with my playtest solve on quote unquote rate.
Oh, okay, all right. We'll get to the playtest solve then.
Yeah. At 15th place, slab drill. 2 pipelines, as we have seen, but this is very symmetric. So slab drill writes, I think doing good on this metric involves using a build order that can fit an arm in the middle to do all the construction. I can't do it with this monomer, and the other one would require having the two halves built asymmetrically, which I ran out of time to build. I was also considering designs that don't split it into 2 pipelines, but the product is just too hard to build for me to get that to work compactly. So there's a probably accidentally clipped hex here, but otherwise it's the what is it? Equilibrium marks used area. 224.
Yeah, the hex highlight feature doesn't work with zoom mod.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Zoom mod jank is not completely dead. It's hard to explain, but this solution looks inviting to walk around in. I must admit, I'm having a little trouble piecing that one together. Maybe that just means it has good feng shui.
Alright. In 14th place, Coco 52. That's what?
I can't. I have to wait for the stream delay.
That's a construction method that I have not considered at all.
I must have a terrible stream delay. I still haven't seen the solve. Okay, here we go.
So it makes this, what was it, warming tonic shape, and then clips off
Yeah.
some of the prongs of it to
Make it into a
Yeah.
horsey-ish.
hair product and another hair product here.
Oh. Huh. We went from like the cleanest winning area solve ever to like extremely weird rate jank with the
Yep.
molecules. It's an incredible. It's an incredibly weird blue vitriol.
All right, at 13th place, Spiritual Shampoo.
Oh, okay, so he did actually have a rate solve as much as
Yep.
he pretended it wasn't a rate solve, but it's min rate.
So yeah, this is Cycles actually. Because I also had a Cycles test soap. So I mentioned that, and Spiritual Shampoo made the Cycle soap.
This kind of looks like a dehydrated water cycle solve, but with a chunkier molecule.
So yeah, the next soap in the list is my soap. And this is also Cycles.
Oh, so you actually playtested cycles, or
Yeah.
was that after?
I think this was the best soap I've ever made on this puzzle. So why rate? Well, look at this shape on the like, and this negative space and the output just fit. These two prongs on the negative shape, it just fits so well together.
That
So
would be cool.
Yeah, so I thought maybe Ray can allow something cool like this. And also, yeah, the Cycles forces 3 multi-bonders because yeah,
latency is 1.
Yeah. So I thought to raid instead on this puzzle.
I mean, I agree with the decision. I don't think I would have. Cycles is very just, you need 3 multi-bonders. There's really not much area. There's really not much there to secondary optimize, is the problem. It's just very obvious you need 3 multi-bonders and a shitload of negative space and a lot of arms.
And you can't even slide to output because of the geometry, so you need these huge swing space all dedicated to just reorienting the helps.
Yeah. Yeah, and it also kind of like, yeah, you have to make it in halves pretty much, without exception, because of the 3 forced multi-bonders. So you have to like swing the whole thing to get it turned around anyway. So yeah, I mean, yeah, you could do CX. That would still, it'd just be like the same problems, but just spread across metrics. Yeah, no, personally, I would have also gone right.
Okay, so at 12th place,
My hot take.
Team Jamius 42. This puzzle sucks balls. Apologies.
The other thing is that if this were a cycles puzzle, then I would have just dehydrated water was kind of what this as a cycles puzzles was, but better. So, like, I like this rate better as well because that's actually different from what we did to dehydrated water.
That I. Yeah, Moon. Yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable. Yeah. So, Jemu writes, the assembling of this puzzle sucks balls. After struggling for 2 days, trying to find a method to break the thing down into smaller chunks, best I could do was 2 helps. So I just decided to try to bond atoms on wherever they fit, with a little surgery to end it. Ended up working with quite a bit of pain. Thanks 42 Genius 42 for optimizing the building of the helps. I just optimized the ending, that's all. And 42 Genius 42, the heart and soul of this raid solution was Jemu, who came up with the max raid house building idea and mechanism, and then later managed to condense it down to the small-ish solution we now have at an area of 160. After further tinkering, I just managed to knock off 5 more area and fair bit more of gold. Learned the piston to normal arm obsession from the likes of Biggie in the past. I am proud of the top left track river.
I really like the air atom that gets clipped off and reattached in
Same.
2 smooth motions because it gets calcified.
Yeah.
During one of those motions. That's a very clean clip off.
Anyway, there's a few more lines. Well done to Jemu, this is at least 80% Jemu's work. Sadly, I 42 Genius 42 will miss this stream live, but will watch later when I can. Might catch the end if it goes on longer than 3 hours. And there's a lot of track rivers on this solve. Though this one isn't a river. This one isn't a river, so there's only one track river, I guess.
That's an almighty track river.
Yeah.
I think most of it is pretty actually river, too. Like, you wouldn't be able to shorten it.
The top 3 hexes are disconnected, but yeah. These part, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it, though, yeah.
Alright.
This is really slick though, the way Arm 4 kind of marshals everything. Moves in place.
Also the way two helps are put together with just a few pivots and rotations.
This is a really good solve.
At 11th place, X Soccer 888. You.
Didn't you get 11th place in an area as well?
I don't exactly remember.
Damn.
So yeah, six U shapes, and this bit of machinery somehow produces the correct monomers in 6 times in 10 cycles.
Snake's an odd one out molecule. I know odd one out usually refers to a whole output molecule, but here it's kind of like an odd one out monomer. It's a lot of stationary arms too. Compared to the other
Yeah,
solve
yeah.
with all the track release and translational movements, here it's almost entirely rotations.
Mm-hmm. All right. At 10th place, John John. Yeah, this one was pretty cool.
Whoa!
John John writes, "This is the result of my first raid solve, optimized to its limit, at least the one I found. I'm convinced you could save quite a bit of area with a redesign, but I like this solve and I spent too much time on it to leave it behind. So I'm not making another one."
Oh wow! Look at all the way all the salt atoms come on. Oh, that looks sick. Oh yeah, nice.
A lot of thing going on. And yeah, I'm glad that you chose to show this solve. This is a really this is amazing solve.
I'll also say, I know a lot of people were joking about am arms for this puzzle, and I support the intrusive thoughts people had about what if this was an am arms puzzle. I must admit, I would be curious myself to see what if this was an am arms puzzle. Look at arm 19. Arm 19 is like bottom right. Bottom right.
At this So arm
Oh,
19 grabs a sword, rotates it into here, as at the same time the molecule is sliding. Slide it with the molecule, and then rotates again, because it has to pass the sword there.
And does its big wing 3 swing to get that? Yeah, wow.
Yeah, incredibly cool solve. But we shall move on to 9th place. Arm 31 is doing something similar.
Arm 31's top.
Ah. No, there's nothing, not as flashy as Arm 19. No.
I did see a couple people in chat disagreeing with the am arms assertion. All I'm just gonna say is they hated him because he told the truth.
All right, at 9th place, Philfuck with 100. Wait a sec. 124 area. Yeah. He writes,
This looks so much simpler by comparison. Another one was absolute like area squeezing magic, and this one's like, oh yeah, pretty economical. But The smaller fucking gold.
So
There's like no.
yeah.
There isn't really that much amazing tech, but it's just like better build order. Lol.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Philpop writes, I had some notes on the previous solution about how it could be improved. However, there isn't anything I would improve about this solve. Maybe I should add just more track Tringles. Also, yeah, old one out pipeline with the horsey monomer. Is that 3 unused hexes in the middle? No, there's 2 unused hexes.
I see 2 unused hexes in the middle. I don't see the third. Yeah.
Notice the insane horsey touches.
I think it's been where all the bonders are at the top is actually quite impressive once you look a little closer at it because of how small all the swings are exactly.
That's very cramped indeed.
Yeah, it actually is super cramped. I was joking about how simple it was earlier, but it actually is not simple. It has been very, very carefully spaced out, all those swings. There's just less of them than the previous solve. But that's because it doesn't need as many, which is actually a good thing.
Mm.
Another odd monomer out
Mm-hmm.
pipeline at the bottom too. I do like all this odd monomer out stuff.
ARM
What?
16
Did it crash
touches
again?
touching the monomer. I quite like it.
It did not. It did not crash. My internet just sucked.
But anyways, we shall move on to the 8th place. Ebonov. 110 area. Six, 6, 8, and 8, 8.
TI might have been a fun idea for this puzzle, actually.
I kind of thought that. But Ebonov writes, ARM 9 and ARM 10 feeds 3 air to ARM 11, which is 4 movements away. It is usually doable with 2 arms given 20 cycles budget, but ARM 9 also needs to rhyme with ARM 3's every 4, so ARM 9 and ARM 10's cadence need to be created. This saved 1 hex on the assembly side, but at the same time costed 1 hex on the product side, as ARM 16's track is forced to bend outwards, otherwise there's an unwanted bond before delivering. Still, good 30 area save for using less pistons in assembly justifies this tech. This bond. He is referring to, I think.
Those two tri-arms are very cool, I must say.
Ah, okay. 668 refers to arm 10's tape, while 884 refers to arm 9's tape. Okay, I finally got it. Alright. We are going to move on to the next soap though. At 7th place. Welcome to the Weeklies Meanderer. I'm pretty sure this is Russian for New Solution 1.
New submitter in 7th place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah.
This one just builds 6 U's and 6 U's in a circle and just outputs it. And it is all done all done with this single clump of machinery.
Wow, that is clean. No odd one out. It just compensates for the weird counting by putting the am I getting this right? By putting together the monomer in different ways. Yeah, no, yeah, because sometimes it uses water atoms, sometimes it uses air atoms on either the top part or the bottom part of the C. Instead of having to do an odd one out where you construct the C the same way every time but have to do an odd one out. Here you construct it in a few different ways to avoid having to do an odd one out. And because you don't have an odd one out to worry about, arm 4 and 5 can just go spin to win. Yeah, fucking... There's that one air atom at the top that takes a journey through the trapezoid track. Ariana Jones. I can't believe that doesn't collide. Wow. What a clutch air atom. Far out.
Very
God,
cool
and
movement.
it almost collides with the molecule as well.
This was the only place he could find that can plonk an air atom here without colliding to everything else. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, right, there are like a couple of like hexes where the atom could have been stored, but the problem is the arm wouldn't have been able to hold it. Like where arm 8 hands it off. Like a couple of those hexes might have been okay, but the problem is arm 9 needs to swing it in. As it does. It can't just rotate, it can't just translate it down. It needs to be that length 3 swing or it will collide.
Very slick movement. Welcome to the weeklies, but we shall now move on to the 6th place. So
Yeah, wow, that was an awesome debut.
Mm.
That was sick.
If you avoid enough collisions, it looks like you're playing without. Good words. At 6th place, Sai looks away. RA3, copy, 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 copy. I believe the main area of improvement for this solution would be finding a better rotation schema for the product. Repeating the rotation done by ARM6 should have a lower area, but it's not compatible with the way I move the monomers. Another method to reduce area could be to attach the soles later in the construction process, but this seems geometrically infeasible. This one doesn't even have the center rotation, but it still manages to be 6th place.
Yeah, rotations are becoming more important here as the actual monomer construction part of the solve gets more like refined, and there aren't any spare hexes anywhere else all of a sudden. Folks out here building you instead of Horsey, and it really shows. We had that moment in area where we were like, wonder when we stop seeing C's and start seeing Horsies. We have that moment in RA as well. So this kind of is actually a similar idea to the last solve by Meanderer, except without like the insane swings, but it's a similar idea of building that C monomer in a couple of different ways by compensating with extra air atoms instead of having to build an odd one out. I would like to see that idea applied to a Horsey solve.
Maybe we are going to see it later. I don't remember actually. At 5th place, Calirisis. Rolling. This is the monomer. And there's
so this is kind of that.
Yeah.
It's kind of that, but it's building 2 Horsies at once.
Yeah. This was a theory win. 720 cost versus 595 cost.
Oh. Remember, pistons are nice, but they cost twice the amount of a normal arm. Yeah. I mean, I'm calling it a double Horsey. That's my name for the monomer, but... Oh, I know, Biggie. I'm a complete wordsmith. It's just what I do.
All right. So ARM16 has access to air at the very beginning of the solve, but it doesn't deliver it until the very last moment. All right. So I so but we shall move on to the fourth place. There was no notes to read. Wait a sec. This was not the. At fourth place, Fiesta Land. Yep, this is odd one out. Fiesta Land writes, our first analysis of rate on paper looked terrible. A 5-atom monomer, but atoms pulled in groups of 6. No duplicator to handwave some of the geometry. Painful. It seemed like there would need to be an irritating syncopation of results somewhere. But all of that complexity faded away when we considered sending the extra atoms to an odd one out pipeline. In this model, the only tricky bits left are ensuring that both air and water have a reasonable route to the odd-out machinery, and timing the odd-out monomer so that it arrives at an opportune moment. And those are small-scale tactical issues that are quite forgiving in rate. We chose the U monomer for compactness and never looked back. There do seem to be several wasted hexes on the left, but we are simply grateful that the strategy we picked ended up being fairly painless. Gaming time was a rare and precious commodity this week.
So we've gone back to odd one out here.
Mm-hmm.
Allows for a mostly regular main C pipeline though.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a couple hexes in it. We've been struggling to find hexes ever since about like 9th, 8th place.
Yeah, every hex seems needed on this solve.
People saying it's synced to the music. I've had the stream muted the whole time. Oops. Otherwise I have to like hear myself talk.
Oh, and fun fact is that 420G, it's the cheapest rate soul I have received. So this is currently RG.
Ooh. There's only one piston.
Mm. And not very many arms at 12, only 12 arms. So this is 105 area at third place. Mr. Piozo, 104 area. We see the similar ideas, buffering air atoms to make the C in a single machinery. They wrote, for a soap that was made within the last 12 hours, not bad.
So we've actually been seeing a bit of a return to C.
Mm-hmm.
Reject Horsey, embrace C. Oh, Biggie. Nose, Biggie. Jesus. Win by miles. That tells me we're going to see like a sub 100 or something.
Actually, we see it on the next soap. Team Hallows Azure.
Oh, okay.
99 area. Welcome to the sub 100 club. There's only 3 peoples here. Suggestions from my transmutation records. This is likely a 5th place or so machines. There are at least 2 tiles in the center of the output clip that could be saved, but geometry requires a rewinding motion of the inner arms, and there is not enough time for a proper handoff to prevent the arms from sweeping the entire inner area. This machine also uses suboptimal geometry for calcification. An air atom must slide all the way from the top of the bonding nest to the bottom via circuitous route. When in principle, it could travel only to the station for the rightmost water and have the rightmost water travel to the leftmost. To be clear, the atoms that form the spikes of the wheel are currently assembled as: at cycle 5, water 1, water 2. At cycle 9, also water 1 and water 2. Cycle 11, 2 air. They could instead be assembled as cycle 5, water 1, water 2. Cycle 9, water 1, air. Cycle 11, water 2, air. But the extra complexity of this transmutation would be difficult. Breathing it is only mildly unpleasant when fresh from the transmutation engine, but becomes horrible with age. The compound eagerly dissolves dust from the air or impurities on the surface of containers it is kept in, which in turn gets into the lungs. Alchemist Kazian in correspondence with Alchemist Jasper.
So this solve does the thing that I suggested / theorized about back when we were looking at 6th place, where I was wondering about a horsey monomer without odd one out or like double monomer shenanigans. So this is that.
Yep.
You can see the variation. The bottom, the legs of the horsies are sometimes water, sometimes air. Thus compensating for the unevenness.
Ratio of the inputs.
Yeah, the ratio. I don't know why I said math. Well, I wasn't actually expecting. Yeah, so I'm curious to see what the final area count will be, but this beat the last solve by a big 5 hexes, so that's obviously already a pretty sizable drop.
At first place, Biggie, 93
Hello.
area. Greetings.
Whoa! That was a blowout.
Yeah, I got really confident as it was taking that long to climb under 100. It's a similar style to what Kazian and Jasper made, but I think it's just tighter in basically every way. Because I made a 99 as my first solution, and I then spent like an hour trimming hexes. The first thing that I got working was a 99.
Should I read the notes or?
The notes are just a shitpost, but you can read them anyway.
Nice.
Breathable egg. I failed a few times to make this design work, but persisted and was able to make something at 99 area. Then it became very fun to tinker and cut area, getting down to 93 after an hour or so. Nice.
Yeah, the only shitpost was that I called it breathable egg because breathable fluid was even less. Yeah. I didn't think of egg sucker when I wrote that, but now that I saw egg sucker on the list, I was like, huh, I just called it egg because that was the word that jumped into my head, and that'll have to be okay.
Sorry, you go.
I think it's the exact same bonders as Halojazian. There's the tri-bonder and the regular bonder underneath it, but they're snuggled up into the output holes a lot better, and the arms around them are pretty minimal.
Yeah, no, the comment I was going to make was that the bonders and calcifiers are both identical. But also, your comment reminds me of what Haxton said when we were looking at the cycle solve. And we're like, wouldn't it be cool if you could just nestle the bonders up right against the output? Which is exactly what this is doing.
Also, this is doing what this is doing exactly what Kazian theorized once over ago. So air is only delivered to the front leg of the horse, and the hind leg is only built with the water.
Oh yeah, Biggie. While you're around,
Yeah.
I heard you've been enjoying Balatro lately.
I managed to beat Gold Stake, get all of the achievements that I felt were reasonable to get, and then put the game down. Which is probably the most important thing, is that I put the game down.
Very
yeah,
respectable.
for a couple of weeks there, I dumped. Gosh, what's my current hour count? Yeah, 60 hours in about 2 weeks, so a little too much time.
That sounds almost exactly my journey. I ended up stopping after about 70 hours. But I just for 2 weeks I was playing nothing but Balatro.
It's cool that in chat, Vilfuck mentions improving final assembly by saving 2 internal hexes. I didn't want to put a second arm in the middle, but it's totally possible too now that I see it. The one thing is that you need to be able to grab the horsey that lands there first immediately after it is made, and you have to be able to rotate and drop as quick as possible because the water jumps onto that little salt in the corner of the product. So it is pretty tight on getting the output not to crash into the upcoming monomers. But I imagine with 2 arms, there's probably a way. I felt like it was pretty cool that this one stayed period 20. I didn't have to do any doubling things. And most of the arms are actually period 10. I think only arm 1 is period 20. Everything else in here has a repeat after 10 instructions. Actually, I wonder if I could make it period 10 by just having arm 1 do its try to drop and then untry to drop. No, it wouldn't work.
You'd have to translate it back and hope it doesn't collide, I think.
I sort of tinkered with this soap when I received it, and I didn't find anything.
I'm glad you tinkered. I love that. Because yeah, I finished this like 8 hours ago. Genuinely, I didn't really get this working until the last night, and I sent it in, and Haxton, I sent the gift to Haxton. They already said, just saw it, nice. And I could tell that probably there was some interest being taken from minute 1 of it being available on the host side. Yeah, the weird thing is that bottom triangle track is like a pseudo period 3, which is incompatible with the actual numbers of the puzzle of 5s and 2s. Like, you grab an input every 2, and you have to build a monomer twice every... You have to build a 5-atom monomer 3 times every 10 cycles, which is just a little bit more than every 3, so it's a pseudo-period 3 track loop that delays every now as it's being fed by an unequal timing of 2-atom monomers.
I'm also reminded of back when I was doing my tournament, and I'd get DMs from top players who just sent me something really good, and I just have to just not respond because I knew I was people who are good enough at it and know me well enough could probably psychoanalyze my responses. So at some point I just had to not respond to not clue anyone in.
If you send the eyes emoji, my heart rate spikes. I will try to open up my version and see if I can save internal X's, because that is a good idea. I didn't do that.
So yeah, this is... So yeah, this is the end of the RI.
Make the RI variant. I'll make the RI variant by getting this to period 10 with 1 extra arm inside.
Very nice. All right. So that was that was 2 metrics shown, and
Has he Biggie has re-established exactly where her power level is relative to the community still.
As long as you didn't say the words area main, I was gonna let you get away with it. If you said area main, I'd jump on you.
I didn't get the chance this week. I know I will in future weeks, though. It's only a matter of time.
Alright, Spiritual Shampoo had period 10 soul, as the Cycle Soul was at period 10, right?
Okay, yeah, I have 560, 126, 93. That's period 10 now. It's just 40G more expensive than this.
Nice.
I couldn't tell you how many instructions it has, because it has 15 arms, and some of them have 4, but most of them have 8 or 10. Estimate like 112 instructions.
So before we show the showcase soul, should we show the showcase soul first, or the week 8 puzzle first?
Oh shoot, if we do the week 8 puzzle, I'm gonna speed solve. I'm gonna drop from the stage. It's been fun.
Gotcha.
Nice to.
Oh, I mean,
it was nice to have you.
I personally always like showing the puzzle before the showcase, but up to you.
Wait, I didn't catch that, so could you...
Oh, sorry. I just said, I personally prefer showing the next puzzle before the showcase, but it's up to you, really.
Alright.
Let me set up the speed solve loose a bit, because I know they're chomping at the bit.
Fair. Alright.
While Haxton gets that ready, I do want to also comment. I held off on playing Balatro until my tournament ended. It was the first thing I did after I finished the tournament, finally wrapped it up. I just booted up Balatro, played it for fucking 2 weeks. It was great. So I knew I couldn't do that shit during the tournament because it was going to be too much of a time sink.
Incidentally, I also have 50 hours on Balatro, and then I completely, dropped the game.
It was nice. I was just in this awesome haze for 2 weeks, and then I just moved on. I kind of like that. I kind of like that we just move on without actually getting sick of the game. We could just do something else.
All right. So the week 8 puzzle. Is from Hello Jasper.
Oh, it's this one.
The puzzle title is Look and Say. Yes, this is computation puzzle. So, look and say sequence. You treat the lead as 1, tin as 2, iron as 3, etc, etc. And then read it from the beginning. So there are 2 leads, 1 tin, 2 iron, 1 copper. So then you encode it onto the output string. So 2 lead, 1 tin, 2 iron, 1 copper. The puzzle is live in about 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, now.
Go computation speed solve.
So yeah, this is the next week's puzzle. The metric is weighted sum with cycles divided by 6. And then there's cost tiebreaker. Weighted sum is customary for computation puzzles.
Cycles over 6 sounds like a bit of a change from the normal weighted sum.
The traditional weighted sum is cost divided by 5. But this one...
But this time you cycles divided by 6.
Mm-hmm.
So cycles are less important.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god. Oh, word of forewarning, I probably won't be commentating next week.
I mean...
I don't exactly have anything to add here in the computation field.
I mean... So yeah, this is the next week's puzzle. And we are going to look at the showcase now.
Alright. I might bounce a little early actually because it's 2:15 in the morning and I'm starting to feel it a little. So.
All right. Nice.
All right.
Nice for having you.
No problemo. You peeps enjoy the showcases. I probably won't commentate next week, but I will see you people later. And I've been a bit absent from the Discord lately, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just taking a bit of a break. All right, see you.
See ya. All right. The input is always length 6. Output is variable. And now for the first showcase solve. I need to enable a duplication glyph. Wait a sec. That's not the... All right, now for real, we show the showcases. Does the input remain the same for each pull? No, you should assume that input changes every pull. Okay, the first showcase solved by Fuyu. Misreading the problem. Not much time this week and tried to put together a raid solution on the last day, only to realize that the duplication glyph was not enabled. Probably could turn it into a solution for the actual puzzle using some surgery, but ran out of time, so here it is as a showcase. Unfortunate. But indeed, using duplication makes the construction quite easier. It makes the old one out process much cleaner. by Team Gemius42. Aesthetically pleasing, but not winning the metrics casual soul. Very similar to the... This is very some-ish soap. Genius42 writes, this was pretty much how I solved it in my head daydreaming. Wasn't too bad for area either. And from Mr. Piozo, it's a carousel of horses. Very aesthetic overlap soap. I have no idea why it says I when the AHK code clearly has A in its place, but we're gonna move on. Nightshine app submitted three showcase soaps. This is, I think this was the speed soap. And then another showcase soap, lamenting that he cannot fix this one. Not saying that he cannot fix this soap. And then they finally submitted something named Not Worse. It's probably the best I'll do with this kind of pipeline. I made all these after my second, and at time of writing, best sold. And finally, we are going to look at the speed solves first by Biggie.
I guess I can pop up for this. I am still in the middle of the computation speed solve, but it is not a like 3-minute ordeal, so I shouldn't feel too determined on that. But yeah, this was like a 3-minute ordeal because it was a 1/6 P solve and it made horsies. I had always seen the horsey. I didn't even notice the C until after like an hour. Horsey was just the monomer.
And it also groups the obvious water atoms and obvious air atoms together. So I guess it's just easy.
Yeah, as far as speed solves, this was a really easy, quick one. I enjoyed it. Not so much the easy on this week, but I'm enjoying it the same. I'm going to go back to that.
And finally, Mr. Royal Spade. A bit area-ish. He writes, 5 stars, would buy again. Spade. This one uses the C monomer. I see. And that's all for showcases. So yeah. So yeah, have fun and so yeah, good luck and have fun solving the computation puzzle. And thank you for having me.